So first of all, I have to congratulate you on this past year you've been having.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, I know you've been acting for quite a while, but this year has to be something pretty special, right?
Yeah, it's been quite extraordinary. It's been really exciting, but it was definitely it's been a full-on few months.
Talking about true story, how much did you know about the case before, and how much did you know about the person that you were going to play?
I didn't know anything about the story until I read the script. I hadn't heard of it, and then I didn't know anything about Jill until I read the script, and then I read the book that obviously the script is based on, and then I met Jill quite early on when I was starting to understand who she was and is.
And how was that experience for her as well as you, and knowing she knows that she's going to be portrayed by you? It's going to be a little weird.
It does. I feel like you're trying to get that person's blessing in many ways. But I don't set out to do an impersonation. You're trying to inhabit their essence and understand their perspective on the situation. But we got on very well actually, and just spent a long time talking about it, because it is, and I think in many ways for the person, when you're playing real people, it can be quite cathartic for them to go through the experience again and talk about it. So it was incredibly helpful for my research.
Did she give you any feedback when she saw your performance?
I actually, we text, and she sent a lovely text about theory of everything stuff. But it's quite nerve-wracking getting the response. Sometimes we're just like, just tell me in a few months. I always think it's nice that there's been a bit of time before you get the immediate response.
Yeah,
but I just hope that she appreciates it and feels like it's true to her experience.
I was going to ask, is it make your job easier when you have that experience, as you did with Theory of Everything also, or does it make it a little more daunting for you?
Oh, it 100% makes it more daunting. It makes it, because it comes with responsibility, and you feel connected to that person in some way, and you feel like you are being allowed into someone's life, which is a very special thing. So you think about it all the time. You don't just leave it and finish work and go home. It stays with you, and it emotionally affects you, definitely.
And what was the collaboration with Jonah like?
Oh, fantastic. With both Jonah and James. James and I actually didn't meet before the film because we wanted to keep that level of the unknown and keep that tension, because obviously when they meet, they've never met each other before. But Jonah and I met with Rupert and chatted about the script, and some of my favourite moments were on set when we would improvise and go off script, and it felt, because it's real and a true story, it always becomes really collaborative as well. And I remember us both saying, like, this is quite a tough one, so you pull together.
And now you're preparing to do two massive movies that are completely different, like Inferno, Star Wars.
Yeah.
What is it like entering those worlds? No pressure, but about 1 billion people are going to see
I know. I try not to think about that too much.
Sorry.
I always approach it in the same way. I just become obsessive about the character, and that's what I love. Finding who that person is, and what do they believe in, and what do they care about. So that's always, I become very microscopic.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to think too much about how it's going to be received and all that stuff, which I have no control over anyway.
I know you can't talk about Star Wars at all, but does that just have a personal connection to you, being in something like that?
It's just exciting. I grew up watching it with I remember so vividly seeing that opening with my cousins and my brother, and so it's something that I'm really looking forward to. And
prepared to have an action figure made out of you too, I assume.
Well, yes. Yeah, I haven't thought about that. But it's just a wonderful franchise to be a part of.